Ugh. Oh, I'm gonna go start a pot of coffee for us here in a sec.
I did.
What?
I did start a
No,
pot.
I mean another one.
Well, I just started one.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. It's like Mom and Steve got a pot, but I went in there and the cupboard was bare.
Yeah. No, I just started a
Okay.
pot before I plopped down.
Gotcha. Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Mom and Steve escaped from the prison that we were keeping them in down in the basement today, and I assume they were on their way back home. It's a shame. I was going to keep them locked up here, chained to the wall. Keep my mom chained in the kitchen, cooking, cleaning. Good morning. Good morning. Good day, sunshine. That song. I've got two songs stuck in my head because of my parents, because I threw on like a 50s and 60s mix when we were driving back from Seattle. Well, back from beyond Seattle. And it was good day, sunshine. Did they take all the meat with them? Oh my God. No, they left it. And so it's Meat City, do a diddy. Is there a bounty on them? Yes. Anybody that sees them. Mom left me a giant pan of enchiladas, which, by the way, my favorite food in the world. My death row meal is my mother's enchiladas. And she left a whole pan of those, minus one or two, because we had them last night for dinner, everybody did. She left that. She left beans and rice, like all the sides for that. So me and Amelia are going to be like, I think we're probably going to try and have it for dinner tonight, and then we're going to freeze the rest of what we have because there's no stinking way we're going to eat all of it. There's only two of us, and it's a giant pan of enchiladas, you know. Your story about Floyd when you were a kid, had me dying the other day when you told it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Floyd. I love Floyd, man. I haven't seen Floyd in years, and he's a great guy. Just a cool old stoner, man. They want their hipster beard and hair back. Cool. Well, I'll take it back. But they take refunds. They process refunds. Stoner or cokehead. Does that answer the question? NYC. I'm coming to you. I will be at least near NYC in very early November. So Halloween, my wife and I are flying out, landing in Jersey for the meetup, and then we're going to be on Long Island. So you made me cough. You might have. You might have. I blame you. I don't blame the weed and the, almost 30 years of smoking now. Could be that. Is that reefer? Can't burn the devil's lettuce on live. Well, of course it is not. Perfectly legal tobacco. You gonna have David Jaffe on DFF? I hope so. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Loadbeard 2 is a coming. Whew. It burns like that fake weed. This is a cigarette. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Hello, mate. Hello, governor. Tip top of the morning to you. Adam Everett. But you spell Everett different. Everett. I've never seen Everett spelled that way. Thank you, baby. Down the hatch it went. I'm good. Down the hatch it went. Bible reloaded. My dick just exploded. My ass is corroded. You know, I like, well, I don't know if I like him. I tolerate Jake. Jake and I don't agree on a lot of things. We're leftists, you know, so we're at each other's throats. But I like him. I like him as a person. I think he's cool. We'll see. Moded, corroded, your butt exploded. It overloaded. It was chocolate cover coated, and your dog came and licked it up. So there. That was the roast of roasts when I was in 3rd grade. Moded, corroded, your butt exploded. It overloaded. It was chocolate cover coated, and your dog came and licked it up. If you said that shit to somebody on a playground in 1988, bro, you just toasted, roasted, and burnt them to a crisp. Moded meant you got burned or you got served, or what do you guys say now? You got roasted, toasted. Yeah. And that was like the skibbity of our generation. Because our parents didn't know what moded meant. Moded meant, oh shit, like if you were like, I bet you $10,000 that Australia the is fucking upside down, and you find out it isn't, and people go, ooh, moded. Fuck, bro, you got moded. Corroded. Getting moded was the worst things that could happen to you on the playground. You never wanted to take a moded. If you got moded and corroded and your butt exploded and overloaded, oh fuck, bro. Oh man, you were in trouble. What's the purpose of this life? To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women. Joint got me reminiscing, bro. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again. To crush your enemies, to see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentations of the women. What is best in life? Is there an afterlife or what? No. You gonna put me on the spot? No. There's no afterlife because there was no before life. You get it? One follows the next. Never heard somebody take that tact. If you believe in an afterlife, you got to believe in a before life. What were you before? Back in the days. I had a dream last night that I was called to account for all of the things that I've wasted.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, I was being judged for how much paper I wasted, how much toilet paper I used, how much plastic. It was an odd dream. I was how to defend myself. Reincarnation, huh? Huh? Could be, I guess. I'm not watching Alien Earth. I refuse to watch Alien Earth until there's at least 3 seasons of it, and I hear it's going strong. Then I might start it, but typically I don't really like to watch a TV show if it's still going. So, yeah, I was in like recycling court. Well, I don't even remember what it was for, but I was having to make allotments for all of the things that I've wasted in my life. Times that I've like got a cup of soda and then I drank 2 sips out of it and forgot about it and it went flat and I just poured it out. The times that, just all the plastic, all the paper. I guess I had an environmentalist dream, but I was the one getting fucking harangued for my environmental bullshit. Alien Earth expands on the lore in interesting ways, but the show itself is kind of a bore. Damn. No, this was like ecological waste. Yeah, it was all just like, you used this much. Why? And I was like, because I had to. You used this much toilet paper. Why? I was like, because I don't like getting poop on my hands. You used this many bottles. Why? Because I had to drink. I was like trying to make a count. I don't know if I got sentenced or not. I can only remember the questioning. I was thinking more of your subconscious judging you for time, life wasted. Maybe. I don't know, though. I got to be honest with you. That is just not, like, I don't have that subconscious twinge. So if it's subconscious, it's way subconscious. It doesn't ever impinge on my thought process. I don't think of my life as wasted. I think of my life as crazy. Like, I've been through and done and had and lost. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I don't think you could have shoehorned more into my life if you tried. So, I just don't have that. That's not one of my problems, I guess. I don't feel that. Like, oh, I'm wasting away. I wasted my life. I'm this, I'm that. I don't have that. Recently, an experiment, light freeze, was done. Basically, we can slow down or completely stop light. It means that E equals mc squared, where c is the speed of light. And if we control it, we can control universe. I have not heard about this. Let's ask. Is it possible to slow down or stop light? Speed of light is always constant. Oh, God damn it. Is it possible to slow down or stop light? Is it possible to slow down or stop light? Speed of light is always constant. However, scientists have long known the speed of light can be slowed slightly as it travels through materials such as water or glass. In 1995, the speed of light was reduced by a factor of 165. In 1998, Danish physicist Len Vestergaard Howe led a combined team, blah, blah, blah. Harvard University realized much lower group velocities of light, succeeding in slowing a beam of light to about 17 meters per second. So I don't think that they've paused light yet, player.
I mean, I guess you could say that if all light is absorbed, it is stopped. Like, that extra black that sucks up all light, you call that stopping it.
Well, that's light being absorbed. That's light. You're not stopping it. Like the way this guy was describing it is they were able to just stop light in midair by freezing it, by lowering the temperature to such an extreme. That doesn't sound right, number one. And number two, yeah, it doesn't sound like something that could be, like the speed of light is constant, but as it passes through certain materials, as it said there, you can slow down light. Which is, I don't understand it. They say constant. To me, that means constant. Constant, constant. Oh, you and your mom's birthday is tomorrow. Oh, happy birthday. Grease is a word. It's the word that you've heard. Grease is a movie, yes. Well, it's a play that was made into a movie. I've acted in the play. But I played a character that pretty much barely exists in the movie. I played a character, I have a whole duet. Roger is the name of the character in the play. He plays the fat kid. Well, Roger is the fat kid that everybody kind of makes fun of for being pudgy or fat. And he has a whole song called Mooning that doesn't exist in the movie because they basically eliminated his character and the nerdy character of Jan in favor of, more screen time for John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John. Parents left. Yeah, we just saw them off down the road. Their car loaded up, and they are zipping their way down the road. I love it when people spell ooh like that. We used to represent it with just a bunch of O's. Ooh. Now you guys are like, oh, you. I'm like, that it hits different when it's spelled that way. Makes me think of Lil Pump. Diamond on my wrist and I flex like, ooh. Diamond on my wrist and I flex like, ooh. Spill Margiela all over my shoes. Spill Margiela. Pull up swerving in the coupe. Pull up swerving in the coupe. Ooh. Well, that's, oh. See, from my perspective, that's, oh. We're talking about ooh. Like, ooh, wee. Oh. That's, oh. We're talking about, ooh. Yeah, we used to just do O's. Ooh. You know what I mean? But now it's got a whole different character because now it's OU. Like, oh. Oh. Yeah. We used to call, one of the words for weed back in like the late 90s, early 2000s when we started using it, we used to call it that ooh-wee. It was a way that you could talk about it in public without talking about it in public, right? You could say, oh, come over to my house. I got that ooh-wee. Oh, you got the ooh-wee? Oh, I got the ooh-wee. Sticky, icky, icky. Ooh, wait. A few years ago, scientists were able to slow down light using a Bose-Einstein condensate. I think it was argon. It's crazy, bro. These scientists must be stopped. They're monkeying with things that they do not understand. No, I'm kidding. That's cool. Weed was cooler when it was illegal. True. But I will tell you this. Weed was shittier when it was illegal, too. And that's coming from a Cali boy. We got better weed than anywhere else in the States. And we still used to get twigs and berries. Sometimes you got what you got. You know what I'm saying? So we traded the coolness of weed for consistency and quality of weed. A little poo. It's Hank Hill, the meme lord, and it's Canty. Yeah, it's 100%. Like looking back on what I smoked in my teens, my 20s. Reggie, mostly. Every once in a while, I get the dank. I get the ooey. But most of it was just pretty Reggie. You know what I mean? Pretty like, all right. Not true, more expensive. No way. I always got fluffy chronic nugs. Well, I mean, I'm older than you, though, bro. I'm older than you. Right? I was born in 1980. And so what you got was what you got. Now, California, we got way better than the rest of the fucking country did. But, you know, sometimes you got what you got. You know what I mean? And the quality overall is like, yeah. Hydro or outdoor. I mean, they were doing hydroponic. And when your dealer said, I got hydro, you were like, I'm going to buy dro. You've got hydro. I'm looking to buy dro. You get it? Yeah. Hydro was five, sometimes even tenner. If it was the extra frosty, like I remember one time my dealer, who usually like he had good shit. I was in my 20s, so I had my dealer from way back in the day was still my dealer. And I remember he came by one time and he was like, bro, not for nothing, but I got some White Widow hydro, and it's the frostiest shit. And I was like, let me smell it. Smell it through the bag, bro. I was like, sold. It's like, it's 10 extra, man. I was like, whatever, bro. Sold. White Widow was the first time I remember, like, a crazy strain name. Because there was a couple. There's, like, Maui Wowie Pie Stick. These were all, like, old strains. But I remember White Widow being the first strain that I started looking for in my early 20s. I was like, damn, I got to get me some Widow. Great crack, good. My favorite now, my favorite of all time is Blue Dream. Blue Dream just a little mellower than White Widow is on the sativa scale, right? But just perfect for me, that Blue Dream. Was born 1982. Brother. Who's older? April Fool's Day, 1980. What's yours, if you want to say? Who's older? Because I want to know if I can pull rank on you or if you're pulling rank on me. Should travel a bit around the world. Bro, I would love to, but it's expensive to do that. It's expensive to do that. And, you know, I live a pretty settled life here. With a hood. 90. You a kid. I have not tried Spider Monkey, Hank. Granddaddy Perp. Yeah, OG Perp. The one called Bubba. You ever have Bubba? It was like Kush. Now, I haven't seen Bubba in forever. I used to love a Bubba Kush, bro. You guys ever seen Bubba? Bubba Kush. And then there was Platinum Bubba. You guys remember this shit? I haven't seen Bubba Kush in years. You remember when Bubba Kush was out? Bubba Kush was out in them 2010s, them early 2010s. Like we're talking 10, 11, 12. That's when you got the platinum Bubba. You got the Bubba Kush. What are some other ones that I used to see? Now you guys got me thinking about old ass strains. Girl Scout cookies, that's all been fucked up. That's all gelato now. You guys still see GSC? I feel like I ain't seen cookies in a minute, like straight cookies. Not like mix, you know, but that straight genetic cookie. Gorilla Glue, yeah, Gorilla Glue is good. Green Crack is in that same kind of boat. We talked about Granddaddy Perp. Granddaddy Perp was big. Um, I don't know. Northern Lights. Oh, Skywalker. You guys ever had Skywalker? That shit, I haven't seen that in a minute. You know when that shit was from? 2015, 16, here in Washington State. I lived in Washington State between 16 and 17. And I get that Skywalker. Headband is good when you could get it. Oh, I just found one, bro. I would kill somebody for this. And I can't find it fucking anywhere. It's like they fucking got rid of it. Durban Poison. Durban Poison, bro. The cleanest fucking sativa. Oh, dude, the most chatty fucking up. Nice, dude. That's the best. They bred it out of existence, bro. Durban Poison. You guys got it in Illinois? Bro, I ain't seen it out west forever, bro. I feel like everything is like gelato now, which is fine. Like, that's what I'm smoking on right now, gelato cake, which is like wedding cake and gelato strain. I don't trust it though, bro, because I've known a couple of dudes that worked in the cannabis industry. And from what I've heard, they're very little. Hold on. There's very little regulation at this point on what they call weed. So, for example, if I owned a weed shop and I got a sack of weed and I wanted to sell it as Durban Poison, I could do that. Like, nobody's gonna stop me from. There's not a whole lot of mechanisms by which somebody can prove, hey, this ain't Durban Pro. Like, that ain't gonna happen, right? And so I feel like what these guys have told me is that a lot of these, what they call mother strains, these original strains, they're not real. So when you buy a Durban Poison, if you get it out of a pot shop, the chances of that being real, genetically pure Durban Poison, very low. Same thing with the seeds, right? It's watered down genetics, right? It might be Durban related, but it's bred out, bro. That clean, fucking unique Durban Poison genetic, bro, you probably never get it again. 'Cause everything's crossbred. Well, that's what I'm saying. Good luck getting actual Durban Poison seeds. Good luck. Because from what I understand, those are rare as hen's teeth. There might be a couple of grow ops that are preserving Durban Poison, but it ain't being grown wide. Cart ain't never. Cart, like I'm not shitting on carts, but they label a cart, it's this or that. Guys, those carts are just fucking, they're syrup. It's okay, they'll get you high. But that ain't no Durban Poison off in your fucking cart, bro. They're not mushing up one of the rarest strains on the planet. Where's my joint? This was a fatty, too. Look what I smoked it down to that. God damn, son. Get a good-ass cart. It's pretty okay, man. But, like, some of them are just fucky, bro. When's the next joint? Here in a minute, bro. It ain't gonna be long. I'm not gonna lie to you. It ain't gonna be long, bro. I'm gonna chill here for a minute, grow my own. I probably will at some point in my life, but right now I rent where I'm at. You know what I mean? And I don't want to make a big old garden here and then have to tear up all my plants. It sucks. So my wife and I are looking for a plot of land right now. We're just trying to find the exact right one. We find that, bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Oh yeah, Mama's Ego and Steve had a real good time. They were just, I think they were super stoked to get to spend time with us. And here's the thing. My mom's a worry wart, okay? Just a hardcore worry wart. Oh boy, our little peepers are here. Of course, they wait until my mom's not here to come nut hatch. You tried to show, I wanted to show my mom these little nut hatches, and they were not over here, and now they're back. The nut hatches are back in swarm. They just keep coming. There's like 10 of them. 10 nut hatches sitting in a tree. Kissing. Little meatballs. Little meatballs. A swarm of the little meatballs. Meatballs, meatballs, flying meatballs. You look them up, man, they're cute. They're a little bird that I'd never seen in my life until I moved up here to Washington State. They love the evergreen trees, and they perch, and they're just tiny. They're little round birds, man, I swear to God. This dude high? Nah, bro. Nah. I love the nuthatches. They're so tiny. I know. They're little meatballs. I told you. They're itty bitty little meatballs. And they make this little high pitched peep. I don't know if you guys can hear that. It's like a squeak. Peep, peep, peep. Little peep. Here, I'll try and see. You guys won't be able to see them very well on this camera. But that's where they're chilling. In the trees there. Like right around in here. Where the sun is at. Oh man, there's tons of them. I can count like 8 right now. 8 little nuthatches sitting in a tree. Burnt, the only way out is through, friend. When I finish this cigarette, you know what's coming next. All these hoes know what's about to come next. Drop a couple bands, I just wanna go. Man, I just wanna go flex. Gold on my teeth and on my neck. And I'm stone cold with the flex with my squad, and we're smoking up a check. Bro, this is my cathedral. This is where I do my church shit, right out here. Every morning. I come out here, take a look at my cousins, do a little meditation, do a little yoga. Boom, shakalaka. Drop a couple bands, I just wanna go. Man, I just wanna go flex. Knowing all of this shit don't make a difference. I'm just talking shit to the ones that'll listen. I came with the heat, man, I swear I'm never missing. And I'm still the same, man, I swear I'm never switching. Man, I just wanna go flex. Man, I'm good and stoned. I think I want to be a little more stoned, though. I think I need to go deeper. I think I need to go deeper. Balls deep? Maybe so. Puneeth Gowda. Puneeth. Puneeth Gowda. Indian or Pakistani or Indian. Cool. Nito Burrito. What part of India are you from, Puneeth? I just recently, if you could believe it, Puneeth, had my first Karnataka. I had my first traditional Indian food just a couple weeks ago. And I had a dal makhani. I had dal makhani with naan. And I had my first ever samosa. And I got to tell you, now I'm in love with Indian food. Now I can't get enough. I like the vegetarian options in Indian food. I don't eat a lot of meat myself. So if I liked dal makhani, what from your region would you say is the best thing that I could have? A vegetarian option from your region. So from Karnataka, what would you make for me if I came to your home and you were going to make a meal for me and I told you I like dal makhani, but you wanted to make me something different? Because I want to try some stuff out. I love okra. I'll tell you that, Yael. Or Yale. Yael. I don't know how to say your name. South Indian meals, best thing. Okay. Well, the place that I go to is a tandoor place where they have tandoor ovens. And so I don't know if that's northern or southern Indian. I don't know. Yael? Okay, cool. Is that an Israeli name? Yael Israel Tondi? I love talking to people that live places I'll probably never get to visit. North India. Gotcha. I still have a little bit on this joint, so I'm going to finish that up, and then I might go get another one, but we'll see. Yeah, man, I don't know. The place that I went to, man, we pulled up in the parking lot. Shh. I got out of the car, and I was like, I could smell that saffron in the air already from way out the parking lot of this place. I was like, God damn. Walked in there, it smelled even better. I could smell that buttery naan bread, bacon, and like all that shit, bro. God. Hebrew name. Okay, I got you. That's cool. We need to make food ourselves. Outside food is not good now. Oh. So a lot of people in India are cooking at home. You're not going to go out to restaurants as much because you said it's no good. Is it too expensive? Because that's the way it is here in America. A lot of people not going out to eat. You roll or pre-roll? I roll usually, but I'll do a bunch up. And then I sometimes, well, there's a really good brand of pre-rolls here. When it goes on sale, I grab those. So I don't know what I've got down there. I've got a stash. So I think I've got a few I stuffed up myself, and I just go grab one. Knowing all of this shit just don't make a difference. I'm just talking shit to the ones that'll listen. Quality lower. Oh, they will use the same oil. I've heard that. Well, they'll use the same oil for days, and the oil gets really dirty and full of food, and then it tastes bad. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that about China, too. Interestingly enough, that in China, sometimes, they will just, like, keep using that oil. What is honor to you, Paul? Well, the parlance that people are using now is stand on business. That's honor. Your word is your bond, right? And for me, honor is being somebody that people that know them, they know that guy comes through. That guy ain't a bullshitter. That guy will give you what he says, or that guy, you know, and I don't reach that level. But I like to aspire to being an honorable person. And I don't think my name is mud among the people that love me. I think I've maintained good relationships, and that implies a degree of honor. Indian street food really does depend on the city and the province. Sure. I would have to look into it, you know. All right. Oh, that's kicked. We're going to do another. Rick, get your kibbles. Go over there and get your kibbles. Get your kibbles. Once I sit down and close up, we'll do it. Goober. What a total goober. What a total fucking goober. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I never did hash in a hookah. I had a friend, though. His dad was a weed wizard. I've talked about him before, Conti, but not to you, I don't think. His dad was like weed MacGyver. He had this bong, well, a little bubbler that he made. Mason jar, Conti, right? Mason jar. Cork top. Created this wooden wheel. Had 6 bowls on it. 6, you know, not giant bowls, but 6 little fucking 2-hitter bowls. Pack every one of them. And he had it to where, you know, like a metal straw came out of it. And when it bubbled real good when you cycled it. And the trick was you load up all 6 bowls and it would click. So you go, and then somebody would click it for you when it was dusted. Dusted. The trick was clear all 6 bowls in one rip. That thing was crazy. Bro, if I wish that I could get a hold of that dude and ask him, dude, if could you show me how you built that? He had another pipe. It was this. The first time I ever got stoned, I was 13, maybe 12, somewhere in there. And I got stoned on a pipe that looked like this, right? Literally, it was a hand flipping the bird. And you hit it off of this. The bowl was in the palm. The carb was over here on the fucking thumb. And that's the first time I got twisted up, bro. Was off of that pipe. He had that pipe. But anyway, he built us this hookah where 4 of us could hit it at once. It wasn't a true hookah. But it was a 4-man bong, basically, where like you load up a big fat bowl on top And then everybody starts slow cycling, right? Everybody that's going to hit it starts bubbling. Everybody can just kind of like, once it's started, you can kind of just keep hitting it because you load the bowl up fat. You load your whole session to it. You know what I mean? For us, we'd load a whole sack, a whole eighth in the bowl. And then you could just kind of toot it. What's your fave movie? Bro, when people press me on this, I say Aliens, the sequel to Alien. So, yeah, the James Cameron Aliens is my favorite movie. But people press me on it. I don't know, man. You know, how many joint a day? As many as I possibly can, Puneeth. You know what I'm talking about? How much time is left in the day? As many as I possibly can, Puneeth. Life is good. Life is better stoned. For me.
He acted like he wanted it, and then he didn't want it.
All right. Well, I ain't tripping. And neither is Mama.
No. On your bed. On your bed.
Was the res off with Scotty and Steve the most high you ever got? Yes. Bro, I was out in the Kuiper Belt beyond Pluto, bro. That was, and it was so gross too. And I could tell, like it was a test. Not a negative one. He just wanted to see, because I'm a Cali stoner, and so me and their stepdad, we'd talk shit about weed all the time. And you could tell I knew a little bit more about it, 'cause I've been a stoner forever. And so he was like, bro, I got this bowl. And he handed it to me, and I was like, it was way too heavy. And I was like, bro, that is resin fucking stem to stern. He was like, yep. He was like, I've been meaning to clean it out, but I don't like hitting resin by myself because it, you know, it cools down. You got to get relit. He's like, but if you got a bowl, you can pass it back and forth, bro. We could clean this whole bowl out tonight. And I was like, bro, we ain't cleaning that whole bowl out tonight. There ain't no fucking way, bro. That's like, we'd be fucked. And he was like, we could do it. We sat there and we did it, bro. We toked that shit down to the fucking ass, bro. We had that bowl ashed. And I was fucked up. Like, just in a good way. Like, I was just melting into my chair. Just like, it was a long-lasting high, too, because it was just, oof. Cigs taste like, well, I wasn't a smoker. Well, I had been a smoker, but I wasn't a smoker at that point. Like a cigarette smoker. I was a weed smoker, but I'd quit cigarettes at that point. I'm back on them bitches now. But I'm trying. How do you think the THCA blunts you buy at the gas station are the same blunts you buy at dispensaries, bro? Homeboy, I'm on the West Coast. You get that? That should answer your question. We don't have that shit. THC, like when you guys say, I got THCZ down at the gas station in pellets in a weird little pill pack. Bro, we don't have that shit over here. Sorry. We don't have it. We got nothing but dank fucking weed. Real ass weed. Not this A, B, C, D, E, F, G shit. We just got weed. Good weed. The real weed. Not the fake shit that get around the laws and no, we don't have that shit. You can't even get that shit out here. Like, you can't get real weed, we can't get fake weed. I respect the Seth Rogen aura. Really? The fake shit's very dangerous. I don't know about if that's true or not. I just don't care. Like, why would I? West Coast, best coast, we don't have to smoke that fucking weird lab shit. I get that good fucking indoor over here. I love when they cycle through some outdoor too, because outdoor got a whole different character, bro, especially grown up here. Outdoor sucks up a little bit of the region it's grown in. So you get that Oregon, Washington weed. It's got a whole different character than that Cali weed. Just go to Cali, Bill. Take you a fucking vacation. Don't go to a tourist zone though. Go to San Diego. You know what I mean? That's, well, that is touristy, but not like, you ain't gotta land in LA. And if you do, you ain't gotta do tourist shit. Don't go for Disneyland. You know, go for some crazy shit and do a little weed tourism, bro. They love that type of shit. You tell them, oh, I'm from out of state. I don't know quite how to pick. Oh man, they load you up. You tell them, I want to get good and stoned. I want to smoke some of that good frosty Cali. And they'll be like, bruh, we got you. Here you go. We're drowning in that shit. San Fran good? Yeah. San Fran is beautiful, bro. Once again, if you stay away from the touristy shit, you do like Fisherman's Wharf. Go look at the harbor. You know what I mean? Just stay down somewhere near the harbor, because I lived in San Francisco for it's close to a month. I was doing a training there, and my wife at the time and I lived there in a hotel suite for a month or so, and it was fucking crazy. I loved living down there. You walk everywhere. You know, I would walk. It was like 6 or 8 city blocks, but it was like so pleasant because I just naturally, organically learned how it worked. And on the way there was this breakfast joint where if I left half an hour earlier than I had to walk to the training place and to start my day, if I left like half an hour, 15 minutes early, I could stop there and get the best like breakfast bagel witch. Like you know, just simple, but like a fresh bagel with scrambled eggs and bacon, you know what I mean? And some cheese, they throw that shit at you. It's hot, fresh off the grill. I just eat that as I'm walking, you know? And so if you like San Fran, you know, if you like that type of city that's walkable, San Fran is dope. Got back from their beautiful city, yeah. Yeah, don't listen to the people that tell you it's covered with turds. When I heard that, I almost laughed my ass off, bro. The idea that like all of San Francisco is just slick with homeless shit. It's like, bro, is there a homeless problem in San Francisco? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. There's a homeless problem in the nation. I don't know if you guys have paid attention to that. But, and a lot of people see, California gets a bad rap. They go, look at how many homeless. You realize homeless people make their way to California because it's temperate. They don't freeze in the winter and they don't die in the summer. They can find a place where it's like temperate enough to where living on the street doesn't mean you have to live uncomfortable all the time. You know, so you talk to homeless people in California, which I've done a lot of. I used to volunteer at soup kitchens. I used to volunteer at food banks, right? It's rare to meet somebody like, I was born and raised here in California. Yeah. They'll be like, I came from Colorado. I came from Mississippi. Came from back east. I was born in Maine, and I worked my way across the country. That's what you hear from these people. You never hear like, I was born in California and I love being homeless in California. You never hear that. What you hear is people that came to California because, you know, they freeze on the fucking streets where they're from. That's true. Cali has way more state programs for the homeless and poor. You live a better life. There's a lot more shelters. There's a lot more community feed programs in California because they need it. Because the rest of the nation dumps their homeless on California. And that's the way that works. It always has been the way that works, so. Yeah, I mean, there were people that chose homelessness or people that chose to live a transient lifestyle, right? And there are people still that way. There are people that way, that they're adverse to settling in one place. They've learned to busk and they've learned to work their way. They don't settle, they sleep rough. That's fine. Um, well, I mean, the famous one of those was Diogenes, and it's roundly kind of noted by historians and scholars and stuff that Diogenes probably didn't exist as a real human being. He might have been based on a number of transient wandering philosopher types, indigents, or he was just a metaphorical example of philosophy taken to its extremes. That being said, though, that was one of the things he was known for. Was that philosopher that Alexander the Great offered anything, and he asked what was for Alexander to move out of his sunlight? That was Diogenes, yeah. That's one of the apocryphal stories about Diogenes, is that he was introduced wearing rags. He's fully in rags, and he was introduced to Alexander the Great. And Alexander, having been regaled with the stories about Diogenes, said, I'm a powerful man. I will grant you anything in the world that you want. You have but to ask. And Diogenes said, okay, move out of my sunlight. You gotta love him. Oh, no, bro. I'm sorry I didn't get back to you. I just looked at them last night because my parents were here. Bro, either one of those, they're beautiful. I think, well, they might have been the same one. I was going to ask you that. But, like, whichever one you pick, if that's what you're going to do, bro, whichever one you pick. Because I want the one you think, But I don't give that to me if it's special to you. You know what I mean? Like, but they're beautiful, and I got a big giant wall that I'll put it up on. Got you. Well, you pick which. You guys pick which. All right, good. Well, you pick which one. We'll tell you. I like that one that I think it was Ganesha. That's the one that I was like, ooh, that's cool. But they're both cool. They're both amazing. So I might use it. I might use it in my studio, Pranav. I might put it up over my backdrop behind me and have it draped down behind me and kind of separate the room. That might be cool. Or I might put it up here on the wall. I'm not sure exactly what I do. I could get a canvas stretcher, or not a canvas stretcher, a background stretcher for it. Tapestries. I'm here to see the tapestries. What is that from? You have no tapestries? What is that fucking from? It's on the tip of my fucking brain. Tapestries. Indiana. The Last Crusade. When he pretends, yeah. He dresses up like a Scottish lord. If you have the room, go for it. That's literally the main issue. We just don't have enough wall space on any wall in the house. Yeah, I'll have to see how actually big it is. But if it works down there, that'd be cool. Especially if I could center Ganesh in that center part. Monkey brains. Dude, that that whole scene is kind of fucking racist. Maybe not racist. It's kind of like culturally insensitive, or what would you call that? They just act like Indian people just eat like goop scooped out of fucking giant bugs' asses and like soup with human eyeballs in it and fucking chilled monkey brains. You know what I mean? It's a big fat guy. I don't know, Hugs, because I've been out of the game of watching children stuff. Like back when I was in my 30s, my roommate had a son, and once he got old enough to watch TV, that's all he did. And it was always like the ones back then, I just had to tune out, bro. I had an office on the other side of the house from the living room where the TV was. Dude, I just moved in there. It was like our spare room slash my office where my computer and shit were. I had a bed in there. Dude, I just started sleeping in there, bro. It was fucking crazy. And he is fucking gross, crowded, loud, etc. Yeah, I've heard. But it's just, I do have the like wanderlust. I love visiting new places and stuff. So I'd like to see India and experience it, but I don't think I'd like it much from what I've been told. Well, there's a couple of places that I found really interesting. There's a huge Sikh temple. I don't know where it is, but they feed like 10,000 people a day. And they welcome anybody, regardless of religious background. Anybody that's hungry can come, sit, eat. And the temple grounds are just beautiful, all kept up by the community. I'm just not sure where that is, but visiting that is like, wow, I would love to go and sit with people and eat and just exchange a little, even if we couldn't speak to each other very well. Just eating with somebody can be, a real like humanizing and it could break down barriers and break the ice and stuff. And I've seen a couple of videos that were shot in that temple ground. I think it's, like I said, it's a Sikh temple. So I think you have to have a head covering as a man to go in. That's really the rule. You got to take your shoes off when you go to the temple, that sort of thing. Yeah, the food is like really good. It's all vegetarian because Sikhs are vegetarians, so there's no meat. It's all lentils, so it's probably like dal or some type of dal. Indians are super crazy about that stuff for guys. Well, I mean, from what I could tell, tourists are not like fucked with. But if you're gonna go in the temples, you gotta like fucking, you know what I mean? You gotta abide by the rules. You gotta get yourself a head covering. The true Hindus have very many gods. Yeah. Polytheistic religion. Also a dharmic religion that has etymology with Theravada Buddhism, right? And Zen Buddhism, because both of those have a multi-god pantheon as well. Well, thank you, baby doll.
Oh, cool.
I appreciate you. Don't show your shoulders as a woman, too. Yeah. But that temple site, and then, I know this is such a white boy thing to want to do. But if I ever got to go to India and I could spend some actual time like absorbing the culture as a meditator, right? As a person that does personal meditation and stuff like that in my own way. I think it would be interesting to like live in an ashram for a month.
Oh, like the eat, pray, love.
Yeah, eat, pray, love. Yeah, the white person dream of going there and meeting a wise old Indian guru and living with them for free and helping to clean and getting into their routine and then coming back to my mundane white person existence with all this knowledge from brown people. I have actual brown people knowledge, not just like observationally, but I could tell people like, bro, I'm basically in India, I'm an official brown person because I lived at the this that ashram and I studied under fucking Guru Swami, this guy. You know what I mean? That's white guy bragging rights, bro. You bust that out with white people and they're like, "Oh, tell us more about this Swami." But, you know, I understand that that's just an entirely white guy thing. No, but see, here's the thing, Pranab. Not for nothing, and this is no fucking disrespect to you. You're an Indian guy. You ain't a fucking guru. You ain't a dude that has sat in the lotus position for 25 years straight and held his arms straight up in the air like this. And he will tell you the wisdom of the goddamn fucking universe. You ain't that kind of Indian guy. You're a dad, you know? These dudes are fucking they're barely like human beings. They're like ascended, you know? Literally any and all things came from India according to all Indians. You are that flex. Oh, you could do the lotus. You could do the true lotus with your heels tucked in up above your knees and shit. Because I can't even get in a full lotus, bro. My fat ass is, I don't even bother no more trying. I just crisscross applesauce or I sit out here in a chair and I do it like that. And I listen and I tune in on the sound of a weed eater revving up a small gas engine that's completely unnecessary because we live in the deep forest. But here we are. And a neighbor has fired up a small gas engine. And I focus on that. And the wisdom of the ancients comes to me. I know absolutely nothing about Bitcoin and I want to keep it that way. Thank you. Appreciate it.
You want the
I want the
short
I usually take the short end of the stick because that looks daunting, that looks doable.
Okay.
Can you smell it? The inescapable fart of humanity? I can. I always have. Yeah, see, I want to meet Dalsim, Pranab. You don't understand. I want to meet a dude, long wizard beard, with like braided at the end, and maybe even so long he wraps it around himself, you know what I mean? Sits in the lotus, and you know, you sit and you meditate in a big room filled with other people, and then he speaks, and everybody listens, and he talks about the wisdom of the universe, and dharma, and karma, and then you go, you have an enlightenment moment, and then you go eat, and you help to clean up, and you sweep up the temple, and then you sleep on a very Spartan bed with a lot of other brown people in the room with you, and then you wake up in the morning before the cock crows because it's time to start preparing for the day. You get it? Any interest you have as Indian? That's all wise Indians act. Yeah. Well, I don't care, man. Because that brown people wisdom, according to us white people, and I'm just giving you the fucking white person perspective, not the truth. All that brown people wisdom is deep, and we ain't got it. And you have to go out and live among them, they, in order to really, truly come to an understanding. But all it takes a white person is a month. If we spend a month among you, we're basically you in our minds. So if we go and spend a month amongst you, we come back and we go to other white people and we go like, I'm basically an Indian guy. Here's the turban. And they go like, well, could you put it on? Could you wrap it and show us how it looks? No, I don't know how to wrap the turban. The dude I bought it from wrapped the turban, but it's like, I brought it home though. Damn, that's crazy. It's like that. I'm just giving you the white people's perspective. That's how it is amongst us, right? That's how. Now, I understand that doesn't really comport with reality, but reality is different for us white people. Reality comports to us in our minds, right? Fuck old heads. I'm just like, I don't actually like, you guys get that I'm joking somewhat. Like, I'm not joking about that mentality. I just don't have that mentality. I'm not that much of an old head, okay? It's like, here, I'll tell you what my Chinese experience is. I go to China, right? I get off the plane. A dude rings a giant gong. And then somebody plays the samisen or the samisen. And kabuki warriors come out. Now I know they're Japanese, but I want kabuki warriors. You get it? You starting to get the perspective. Then I go and a little old Chinese woman tells me, "You must trek up the mountain." And she points, and I have this long trek, and at the top of the mountain, it's that same guy, basically, just a different color. Like the same guy that I want to meet in India, but Chinese. He's got the white hair up in like the Chinese pony bun thing, right? And he's sitting, and he's in Chinese robes, and he's at the top of the mountain, right? Yeah, yeah. I want the iconic white person Hollywood experience. Somebody's got to ring a gong when I show up, or it's fucked. You know what I mean? If nobody's ringing a gong for me when I show up, oh yeah, he's got the Pai Mei. I would crush you like a worm. Yeah, like the old kung fu master, bro. Then I want to go after I met the guru on the mountain in China. You know where else I want to go in China? I bet you could guess. Where else does Paul Z go? And most white people, where do we want to go in China so that we can come back and tell other white people that we know about it? Think about it. You'll get it. Okay, the wall, but yeah, everybody wants to go to the Great Wall. I'm talking about a cultural experience. The wall. Of course, the wall. We're assuming I'm going to the wall. I'm talking about cultural experience. So I want to go up the mountain, talk to the Chinese, the wise man of the mountain. And then there's one more cultural experience that I got to have. Come on, you'll know. If you really think about it. You don't like me? I'm sorry. Not the red light district, Hank, you dirty freak. What do I look like, pompish? I want to go where them monks is. You know the ones? The bald monks? What, you could hit them in the nuts and they're just like, huh! I'm surprised not one of you guessed it. Not one of you guys guessed it? Bum, 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 bum. I want to see those dudes doing that shit. Yeah, Shaolin monks, bro. Coming from the slums of the Shaolin. Tiggy Skibbles, did you go? You went to the Dome, didn't you? Or you went to the Warrens? One of the two, I think. Yeah. Let's think about other cultures that I want to experience. Australia. I want to go to Australia, right? I want to go And there's going to be a guy, he dressed all in khaki, right? He's going to be like, as soon as I come off the plane, he's like, "G'day, mate. You here to see the Kangas?" And I'm like, "Yes, sir. I'm from America." And he's like, "Oh, we love Americans here. Let's go see the Kangas." So this dude takes me out in the wild in a Jeep. And he's like, "Oh, there they are. Look at that Sheila. Oh, she's a big one, ain't she?" And I'm like, "Whoa, kangaroos, man, that's fucking cool." And then he goes like, "Well, I'm gonna drop you off at the path that takes you deeper in there, and you're gonna find the Aboriginal chief, and he's gonna give you a brown people wisdom." And I'm like, "Oh, thank you. Thanks, mate. Put another shrimp on the Barbie." And he's like, "Ha ha." And then I walk. And I'm walking and it's dark and I start to think, man, maybe that Australian guy led me astray. And then all of a sudden, way in the distance, I hear the sound of a didgeridoo. Wow, 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 wow. And I'm like, I'm heading the right way. So I follow the didgeridoo sound. And I get there. There's a whole village of brown people gathered around this old man that's like, and, you know, when I walk up, everybody's very welcoming and they say, "Sit, sit, sit." And I go, "Wow." And then when he's done playing the didgeridoo, he gives me brown people wisdom. You see? You get it? Then I come home and I tell people, I went in the outback with a professional Australian kangaroo hunter and I saw the giant, he said it was one of the biggest Sheilas he'd ever seen. And then I went and I heard a didgeridoo and I sat at the feet of a wise Aboriginal sage. And he painted my face with golden paint and he anointed my forehead with a red smear and he gave me the wisdom of the brown people. You see? When you get bit by a venomous spider, that happens while I'm sitting there. And the wise man pulls a poultice out of his pouch and he puts it and he goes, "Hagaluda," or says something in Aboriginal, and it heals up. I never get sick. If I had those 3 experiences alone, I would be a king amongst white people. 4 eyes? I hate these ones. I wish I was dead. Don't say that, Polly. I hate it. The kids call me 4 eyes. There's other brown people experiences that I want to have, though. Other brown people wisdom I want to get. There's other places. Like, I want to go to the Middle East. I land. I get out of the plane and I hear that Middle East music that they play. The and I'm like, and then somebody goes, "Yallah, Yallah, Akbar," whoa. Right? And there's a dude waiting for me there, right? Yeah. And he goes, "Please step onto the carpet." And I step onto it. And he goes, "Inshallah." And the carpet flies. And it takes me to like a masjid. And I walk through the doors and everybody's very welcoming. They go, "Yallahu Akbar, Yallahu Akbar." And I say, "Inshallah, Inshallah, Inshallah," right? And they take me in there, and wouldn't you know it, there's a wise old Arabic guy in there, sitting in a lotus position. And he goes, "Come, brother." And I sit at his feet, and he gives me brown people wisdom, right? Then I go outside, there's a camel and a desert guide. And he goes, "Please, ascend your camel. We must go quickly. A haboob is coming." And I go, "A haboob? Oh no, So we get on the camel, right? He leads me through the desert. The front edge of the haboob barely clips us, and I have to pull that thing over my face so the sand doesn't get in there. And then as soon as the haboob clears, he goes, "There, sir, do you see?" And I look, and in the distance, the pyramids. And I'm like, "Ah, yes, I see." He's like, "Come, we will go crazy." Not crazy, we will go closer. And I go to the pyramids. And wouldn't you know it, I get to the pyramids, and there's an old Egyptian guru sitting there in the lotus position. And I sit at the base of the pyramids right in front of them, at the geographical center of them with this guy. And he gives me brown people wisdom. You see what I'm saying? He gives me brown people wisdom. And then I take that back and I tell the other white people, and they go, "Fuck, bro. That's crazy. You're so wise, man." And I go like, "I know." That's how I want to visit there. Brazil. Okay. I land in Brazil. I get off the plane, and somebody goes, "Que rico!" And the Brasileiros come out, right? And there's like hella hot ladies with fat asses. And they're there, and they're like shaking their booties. And some guy's like, "Baile, baile, bibliotec. Baile, baile, bibliotec. Donde sea tu bibliotec. Donde sea tu bibliotec. Baile, baile, baile tu cuerpo. Baile." You know, and I'm like, damn. All right. Pull me down. One of them, you know what they got? A coconut with a little umbrella, right? Then they take me, they give me a nice comfy seat, and I get to watch that, what's that thing you guys do down there? Carnival? I got a front row seat to that with my coconut. Every time my coconut gets dry, a girl with a big fat ass comes and like fills it up, and I'm like, "Oh, thank you." I get a little buzz, and I watch Carnival, right? And then after that, a little street urchin walks up to me and goes, "Senor, you must come deep into the favela. There is a wise man who wishes to meet you." And I say, "Lead on, young man." And I follow this street urchin deep, deep, deep into the favela. And I find, wouldn't you know it, a brown guy sitting there in the lotus position. And he goes, "Hola, come closer." And I go, "Si, senor." And I sit at his feet, and he gives me brown people wisdom. And then I go home, and I tell all the white people, you know what I mean? All about it. Gracias. Muchas gracias, senor, por la wisdom. De nada. Go back to your country and spread the wisdom. If you could choose one brown people wisdom to get full knowledge of, which brown people wisdom would you want to have?
I just don't know if I'm understanding it in the same way you are.
Yeah,
Like,
it is a tough
I don't
concept.
have the eat, pray, love drive.
You don't have none of that? You never were like, "Damn, I wish I had some brown people wisdom on this." Well, you've got brown people in your family.
You're not that.
I mean, they're pretty brown. They're browner than me. I'll say that. And I'm sure that there's some wisdom. But I'm copying to the fact that this is an entirely Caucasian way of viewing what we think is like foreign places. Mm-hmm. But it is. It's more a commentary on just like American cultural stereotypes about the world. Yeah. But I can't help but shake it because I grew up in the world where I believed India was the guru guy. I believe China was the gong and the kung fu and the.
Yeah.
I believed Africa was like
Mm-hmm.
the tribe and the hunters and the this, right? Polynesians. So I show up to Polynesia, right? And as soon as I step out, I hear somebody playing that, right? And there's like two women and they're hulaing. And I know that's not even Polynesian. But this is in my mind when somebody says Polynesia. And then, wouldn't you know it, somebody brings me a coconut with a little umbrella in it. And it's got a nice little coconut liqueur in there or something. And I sip it. It's very refreshing, you see. And then they take me deep onto the islands into a village. And wouldn't you know it, there's a brown guy sitting there in the lotus position. And he welcomes me. And I sit at his feet and he gives me brown people wisdom. That's what it is.
I just never had much interest in the international travel much at all, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm kind of a homebody too. Like, I don't lament that I haven't traveled internationally. It's something that I probably would do if the opportunity arose, but I ain't in no rush. I like it here. I'm an American, you know? I like my illusions about the world, and I don't want them shattered. Native Americans, well, see, I've had actual experience. I grew up with some Native Americans, so I don't have the same, but yes, you know, if one of them took me to a tribal council meeting and then said I had to do the test of manhood and become a brave and go out into the wilderness and meet the wise Indian sage and smoke the peace pipe with him in the sweat lodge, right? I would do that shit. I would do that shit, right? You get it? Well, that's the whole point, is the white people, like, we're not going to sit and listen to a guru say one thing and bring any wisdom home. But that's what we think. That we don't think about the fact that that guru and the people that study under him have been doing it their whole lives, or like for 20 years, you know what I mean? And they're still working on it. We think we go there, we have a quick tour of the ashram, we get to meet the guru and ask him a question, we go home and we think we've been enlightened. Yeah, he would be in the lotus position. Well, all wise people sit in the lotus. That's known, right? Like, pretty much, I'm pretty sure that's known. But I have white people notions too about white cultures that aren't mine. So, like Germany, right? If I showed up to Germany, I'd want some white people wisdom from Germany. So, I want to land in Germany. And then, as soon as I land, a polka. Right? And there's two busty, blonde with two braids serving wenches. And they walk up to me with a big brimming mug. We're talking like a 2-liter mug filled with strong German beer, right? And I drink it, right? And then once I'm drunk enough, a lass, a German lass with the braids goes, "Coming with me." And I'm like, okay. And she leads me to a wise little old man in lederhosen sitting in the lotus position. You see? Do you get it? And he gives me some white people wisdom. The lotus position, well, I'm not the most studied guy on this. The lotus position is meant to be a focus. It's meant to bring your limbs close to your body so that you focus. Well, crisscross applesauce is not the lotus. The lotus is when you see the dude sitting in crisscross applesauce, but their legs are folded so that their heels are up and resting on their thighs. You've seen it, femboy, I'm sure. That's the lotus. Crisscross applesauce, that's not the same thing. Yeah. Like if I go to France, right? I land, I get off the plane in France, right? So what do I hear? You're right. and there is an attractive French wench. She's there and she goes, "Bonjour, comment ça va? Allez, allez, allez va." And I go, "Okay." She takes me to a little restaurant, right? And I get these little drumsticks, tiny little drumsticks, and a tiny little arrangement of baby carrots. Bon appetit, right? And I go, okay. I eat it, and then that same busty French wench comes to me and goes, "Allez, allez." She takes me down the alleys of Paris into the catacombs, and down there is a wise old Frenchman sitting in a lotus position. You get it? You see what I'm? You see you picking up what I'm putting down? He gives me some fucking white person wisdom. No, you don't get mugged, bro. I'm too street smart for that. Plus, by the time I go to France, I've already been to China, so I know Kung Fu. You get it? Because you forget. I went and studied Kung Fu for a day at that Buddhist monkery, whatever it was called over there. So anybody tries to mug me, they're going to find out that I know, like, shoo, hoo. Yeah. I went to the monkery, bro. Yeah, bust out the stinging scorpion. You know what it is? Am I eating? It's a bagel with some cream cheese, and I got it just folded up so I can eat it. I fold it in half. I do half a bagel in the morning begrudgingly, because if I don't eat something, I take a lot of pills in the morning. If I don't eat something, my stomach goes crazy. So I have to put something on it. Steak, eggs, and rice. Damn. Not good on me, good on Amelia. She's so sweet to me. She never forgets. She brings me something. When I'm sitting out here ranting and raving, she can't absorb it all. I could tell she wasn't feeling the brown people wisdom conversation. Like she said, I don't think of it that way. But she always makes sure that I'm eating something if I'm sitting out here. Because she's so kind to me. She puts up with my crazy. We take care of each other. That's what my mom said. She said, now I've seen, I've come and stayed with you. Because this is the first time in my life my mom's ever stayed with me. I'm 45. Said, oh, and I've stayed with you to see how you guys take care of each other. She said she just feels better. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's true. We do take care of each other. Heavy breakfast. Heavy breakfast. Steak and eggs and stuff. Yeah, that shit is... that's a good hearty breakfast. If you're going to go hit the work, you got a full day of labor in front of you, bro. Yeah, you got to... more that belly full in the morning. I just can't anymore, though. Man, my whole clock is set to where, like, I'll get hungry today right around, like, 1:30 earliest, maybe 3, 4, 5 at the latest. Somewhere in that zone, I'll get ravenous and I'll want to eat. But I just don't, like, left to my own devices, I wouldn't eat anything all day. A lot of that's just mania, too. So, I'm well medicated now. Or at least I'm on my way to it, but I still have bouts of mania. What I used to call being scatterbrained because I didn't know. Hummingbird. A hummer. They're cute. No, not in Vancouver. Um, so I live on the northwest shore of the Puget Sound. If you like drama, I would have to agree with you. What TJ did was in bad taste at the time. Also, I love y'all's show. Watching you guys argue is a bit scary. Anyway, you guys keep doing what you're doing. Oh yeah, no, you ain't got to worry about me and TJ. There's a thing that goes on. Me and him talked about it briefly yesterday. Actually, we touched base. We were texting about the show and meeting, and him not feeling well yesterday, and he was like, "Hey, man," because we talked right after the show and we were chill, and he was like, "Hey, man, a lot of people, in the fan communities and the comments are making hay about us being, you know, us like being real mad at each other." And he was like, "I just wanted to touch base with you and let you know that I'm chill." I was like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'm way chill." And I sent back to him something to the effect of paraphrasing. I was like, "I feel like when this happens, we have an argument that's existential or whatever. A lot of people have just never had a friend. They don't know what having a friend is what I told him." And he was like, "Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just like we've known each other way too long. It's water under the bridge." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." I made my apologies. I was like, to be frank, that shit was so shocking to me and triggering that I was not mentally doing well at that time, and I was trying my best to keep it together, but I was like, that ain't on you, that's on me. He was like, yeah, no, I understand. That was that, right? So he and I are cool. Well, we were cool before we had that talk, but we touch base because we're friends. Not only friends, but we're business partners and all of that. And a lot of people go like, "This is it. The show's gonna break up, bro." The show can't break up. Like we're contracted, so we're stuck with each other for a certain amount of time, unless one of us just stops showing up or whatever. Right? There's mechanisms by which we could fucking divest somebody if they just disappeared and decide, they're not gonna keep getting a paycheck forever. That's what I'm saying. But like, as far as me as a performer, podcaster, business owner, we're all solidified, as you should be. Well, that's what I would tell people, but you got to understand, some people just got short memories. Maybe they didn't catch that. But TJ and I have gone at each other before, bro. We pissed each other off royally. Anytime you see TJ slap the mic, he's pissed. TJ, to him, that mic is you, and he just wants to slap you. That's what he's saying. So TJ was hopping mad, and that got me mad because I felt like, what's this pushback? Fuck you. Fuck you. I got self-righteous. He got self-righteous. When he came back, he had thought better of it, and he, like, a lot of people pointed that out. They were like, when TJ came back, he was like, "Oh, all right, whatever. I ain't gonna show it." But I was already too mad. At that point, I sat there with Scotty, tea kettling, and Scotty did his wise monk thing where he sat and he was like, I get where you're coming from, Paul. And I'm just like, "Yeah, well, I get you. You understand, but fucking that motherfucker, blah." You know what I mean? And so by the time he came back and he'd fucking chilled a little bit, I was ready to fucking go. You know what I mean? I'd worked myself up into a frenzy. Yeah. When TJ feels pressed on something and it gets to a certain point, he's gonna fucking blow up. But it takes a lot to get TJ to that point. Scotty's the best mediator. Well, I'll tell you, both the Kirks have a good mediator personality because when me and Scotty went at it, TJ mediated that to an extent, right? And me and Scotty have gotten in some pretty fucking good arguments over the years. We're both fucking hotheads. We both think we know what's best. That's gonna fucking. But for me, it's not about like the occasional argument doesn't bother me. What it's about is like what happens after the argument. And with these dudes and on my accord, because I grew up in that type of environment, yelling doesn't mean I hate you. Yelling means I love you. You know what I mean? To a certain extent, when it comes between friends. Well, yeah, he sits back and lets us go out. When I say he's a good mediator, what I mean is like when we talk outside of it, or if we're having a disagreement that's business related that doesn't happen on the show, and me and Scotty are kind of not seeing eye to eye on something, we're talking past each other. TJ's really good at stepping in and like breaking that down in a way that calms me and Scotty's like instinct to tea kettle up. So both of those guys are good. I'm you know, mediating between those guys is like trying to mediate a fight between a jackal and a hyena, bro. Those dudes, you know what I mean? The brother thing, you can't even step in that. I'm a pretty good mediator when it's not that level of connection between the people, but I learned because I got cousins that are like that. Three brothers, like little stair steps, and they just would get in fucking fist fights, and it was stupid to step in. You know what I mean? Because they were gonna do it. They're just gonna fucking shove me aside or mollywop me. These are huge dudes, you know. And so I learned that like when it comes to brother shit, I never had a brother, right? Um, Growing up, I had all sisters. I was the only boy, and so it's like I never got that brotherly fucking I'm gonna punch you in the face and then we're chill an hour later type of thing. They do that type of shit together, and I've just learned like it works itself out, bro. Like I don't step into it. I just let it happen. There's no mediation required because they're brothers. They're gonna talk it out on their own and work their way through it. TJ's Bane break. He didn't mean to break. They're just brothers, bro. They were wrestling. Appalling. Yeah, the tomatoes. He's never gonna come through with the tomatoes either. Side jobs. He's never coming through. And I'm the Lord. You remember in that fucking theoretical thing. So he's derelict of his tomatoes now for 2 years. I'm gonna send a squad of knights. We're gonna see what's going on my land. Because I'm getting sick of him just not. He's not delivering the fucking peasant tomatoes. Don Veda. How you doing, Don? Good morning to you. Cheers. I'm trying to wake up today, Don, but my parents just went home this morning. They're on their way back to California. And, you know, whatever. Like, it was great having them, but, you know, you don't really get much fucking rest. So I'm trying, though. I got shit to do today. I can't fucking rest on my laurels. I have shit to do. Wakey, wakey. Yeah, I told my brother-in-law, like, I'm sending them back to you, bro. We got content to make. Yes, sir. There's content all the time. That's something that Don has taught me that. Don has a love of content that I think is very rare, even amongst content lovers. This man is filled with giddy glee when there is drama content going on. He is, and it's inspiring to see it. You know what I mean? It is. It is because he's dedicated. Can't wait for the Twilight episode. Oh, it's gonna be great, bro. I'm doing the last bit of my principal photography this week. Thinking Wednesday it's gonna be shooting day. If this weather holds out in that magic hour, we're gonna get it shot, bro. We're getting it shot, and it's gonna be awesome. And then it's it. You're upsetting my dog, David Jaffe. You're upsetting my dog. You get that $40, Don Vader? Never mind. I know the answer to that. There's no way you got that $40. And I know you're going to stand on business. Till that 40 gets to you, you're standing on business because you're a stand on business guy. I'm pretty sure that 40 ain't coming. I think he'll scrape it together eventually. Yeah, 40 for the unbanned. I think it's fair. I think it's fair business. Can you say in a pirate accent, i.e., scurvy dogs? Well, I've only got that old sea salt, so I'm like, aye, you scurvy dogs. Swab the poop deck now, or be keel-hauled. We're going to Tortuga tonight, sailing through the storm with a company of British corvettes on our tail. Load up the cannonballs, boys. Swab the decks. He told me 3 months to pay me. It's gonna take 3 months for him to scrape it together. He's gonna get it from somebody, bro. He'll e-beg it. He's gonna e-beg it. And then he'll tell you it's his money, and you know what I mean? You know how that is. But Don, throw up a link to the dome if you want. If you got one handy, or Hank, let people know. When I'm doing this, you want to hang out in a fun spot, do a little blood sports. The dome is where it's at. Join. Oh, you already did. Okay, cool. Good, good. Good, good. Just read the rules when you get over there. Don't wipe your dick on the drapes, okay? You represent me well, okay? You come over from my stream, you tell them in verification, hey, I'm from Paul. You better not wipe your dick on the drapes over there. Because that shit rolls up to me, and I'm a knight of the dome, and I got to account for that shit. Don't you do it. What does it take to become a successful Broadway actor, Paul? Talent, training, and dedication above all dedication. Talent and training come with dedication. So dedication is the overarching thing. I actually have known a person that her name is Audra McDonald. I met her a couple of times. She was an underclassman when I was graduating. So I think she was a freshman when she came in. So I didn't get to see her in my classes, but I met her a few times. And if you look her up, Audra McDonald, she's a super famous Broadway actress now. She's been in all kinds of stuff. And she was just incandescently brilliant talent that was very dedicated to the art and knew where she was going. And it was, Broadway. She was Broadway bound, always. Myself, though, I'm a talented dude, but I didn't want it. I didn't want Broadway. I don't know what I wanted. I'll be honest with you, man. That dude, 20-year-old something Paul, teenage Paul, he's just a theoretical person in my mind. Like, your life changes your perspective so much. And I got no regrets about pursuing or not pursuing this or that, failing at this. It's all brought me here, That's my perspective anyway. But, oh, snap, okay. Big Gray is out in the yard. He's whipping his tail, too, so he's going to do a chase here soon, I think. We had to know her name for a New York Times crossword some time ago. Yeah, no, she's famous. Are dolphins the smartest aquatic animal on Earth? I don't know. I've heard that dolphins and whales are very smart. Bigfoot. No, it's just a big old squirrel. Chicken's laying an egg. How's the joint today? Silky and smooth. Boom, The long walk, I don't know, bro. I'll get around to it when I get around to it when I get around to it, bro. I don't put myself on no schedule anymore because whimsy dictates what I watch. Whimsy dictates everything in my life that's creative. It's about whimsy. I keep that whimsy, and that means I don't plan to watch shit. I don't take people's recommendations unless I know them. And even then, I put them on a shelf, and I get to them when I get to them. Whimsy dictates what I watch. Whimsy in the moment. What do I feel like tonight? This. Whimsy. It's not that I don't appreciate people's fucking wrecks. It's just like, I know I travel the same circles as you. I know about shit. I just do it on my own time. I do it on my own time. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, Paul, realistically? I got to be honest with you, man. I would have an answer for that question for you at any era in my life except for now. 10 years is 10 years. And 10 years from now, I'll be a different person. Hey, if it's like every other decade, my perspective will shift. There'll be tragedy. There'll be heartbreak. There'll be joy. There'll be victory. There'll be loss. All of that stuff in the next 10 years. And when I come out the other end of that, you can talk to me about who I am. But as far as where I see myself in 10 years, how could I guess? Bro, I would have been wrong every decade, but what makes you think I'd be right now? You know, if you asked me in my 20s, I'd have been wrong. You asked me in my 30s, I'd have been wrong. You asked me in my 30s, I'd have told you I'd be a dad, be working my way towards retirement, I'd have teenagers, etc., etc., etc. Didn't work out that way, did it? I don't like them questions, though. Well, I do. I like all questions, but I don't like that those questions are so pertinent to young people. Where do you see yourself in 10 years, realistically speaking? And it's like, who fucking knows? That should be the answer. Who knows? Least favorite thing about Washington? The traffic. I-5 is a nightmare. There are no large predators in Antarctica. Cool. Ain't no polar bears up there? I know there's got to be some polar bears up there. Isn't that a polar bear zone? Maybe I'm wrong. It's the journey that counts. It's the journey. It doesn't even matter if it's the journey that counts. It's the journey that you got. That's all you got. Oh, Antarctica. Oh, yeah, there's no polar bears. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, I was fucked up. I had it mixed up. I was thinking Alaska. I'm stupid. I get it. No, there's no polar bears down there. They got the Arctic. They got the polar bears. They got penguins. Well, what about them fucking tiger seals that are down there? Those are pretty goddamn big. They're not like bear sized. They're like big cat sized. That's a large ass predator. Yeah, them leopard seals, them big, man. Right? They're not the largest thing in the ocean. But them leopard seals are big. Orcas, too. They're just saying there's no large land predators, which I guess that makes sense. Because I see documentaries about them emperor penguins down south. They're in Antarctica. And I see documentaries about them where they go out in the ocean, they get ripped up by them leopard seals. The leopard seals will come up out of the water and snatch one up on the beach and then wiggle back in. I seen that shit. So you can't tell me that don't exist because I've seen it. How am I doing this fine morning? I'm doing, friend. I think today I've got a meeting I got to do, and then after the meeting I got to rest, to be honest with you, because I got a lot to do this week. And I'm pretty tense. And I've been pretty busy for like 3 straight weeks now. Bro, I need a break. Not a long ass break, just a day or two where I can recharge and shit. So I just been running, and then I had family in town for the last 8 days. So that was a whole week. It's not like you don't get rest. It's just like, you're taking care of things. You're traveling with them, going here, going there, shopping here. Phew. I guess everything is eating anything they can. Yeah. Well, you ain't gonna see a leopard seal because you don't live all the way down there. Anyway, I gotta be done. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys later. Bye.